Yo, England have just drawn 0-0 with Slovenia, a team ranked 57th in the world. And in this video, I'm going to discuss England's coaching problem, why Jude Bellingham is being harshly treated, and why England really miss Harry Maguire. I want to start this video with a question in the hope that someone who stumbles across this video is able to provide me with an answer. How do this England side plan to create chances? I know how they plan to keep the opposition out, take little to no risk with the ball in their own half, have the fullbacks prioritise their defensive duties, adopt a mid-block out of possession with very few spaces between the lines, and ensure that there's always enough bodies behind the ball to deal with defensive transitions. That part I understand. And I don't have too many problems with this team out of possession, at least structurally speaking. In possession tonight, England were sort of a 4-3-3, 4-1-4-1 with Jude Bellingham on the left-hand side of a midfield three and Phil Foden on the left wing, who often interchanged positions with one another, but still managed to get in each other's way quite a bit. How often have we seen both of them drop deep in these last three games and demand the ball from each other, only to play a 5-yard pass back into Maguire? England cannot progress the ball on the left-hand side of the pitch because Foden wants to pick up the ball centrally and Kieran Trippier has clearly been instructed not to get forward. Although there does appear to be a strange trigger for Trippier to get forward, which is when the wide player on his side drops very deep. He does seem to bomb on temporarily, only to regress back into his actual position when everything slows down again. This also happened in the friendlies prior to the tournament when Eberechi Eze was playing in front of him, and I'm not exactly sure what the point of this is. Perhaps if they moved the ball a little bit quicker, we would find out. If the manager wants to play Foden centrally, he essentially has two options. Play him centrally and drop Bellingham back in beside Declan Rice, or have a natural left-footed fullback on that side providing the width, which it doesn't look like they have now. Even the idiots that call into TalkSport can see this problem. I do not understand how Anthony Gordon is not playing on that left-hand side. He's lightning quick, he's direct, he can go inside, he can go on the outside, he has an unbelievable work rate, and he's just had a brilliant season with Newcastle. He has played very well in the friendly matches leading up to this tournament, so you give him a chance, he plays well, and then we don't see him until the last 4 minutes of the third group game. And then on the opposite side of the pitch, Bukayo Saka also needs more help. Look at how Ben White, Martin Odegaard and Kai Havertz facilitate him in that Arsenal team. In this England team, Kyle Walker is playing as a sweeping fullback 90% of the time. Harry Kane is usually in the centre of midfield spraying passes to the likes of Bukayo Saka, and Conor Gallagher or Kobbie Mainoo, they did their best to make those Odegaard-like runs in between the central defender and the fullback to help create space for Saka, but it looks far too off the cuff. Then you have Jude Bellingham, who aside from the first half against Serbia has looked completely lost. And the reason why he looks lost is because far too much is expected from him. When Harry Kane drops deep, Bellingham becomes the focal point in attack. He constantly has to drift wide to allow Foden to have a turn playing centrally, and he's expected to press with Kane in that 4-4-2 structure they adopt out of possession. He also seems to have this license to pop up anywhere when he is playing centrally. Look, even the best players in the world need clearly defined roles in their team, or at least some semblance of structure. I keep hearing people say that Bellingham has to play as a 10 because he plays there for Real Madrid, but that's in part because they didn't replace Karim Benzema, and they have Tchouaméni, Modric, Kroos, Valverde and Camavinga that all play deeper. He mainly plays in that position for Madrid out of necessity, and he has played as an 8 for Real Madrid several times, and it is his best position. He's a box-to-box midfielder, and England desperately need a quality one beside Declan Rice. Am I missing something? Harry Kane, who I'm also a huge fan of, frustrated the life out of me again tonight. Harry Kane dropping deep makes so much sense if you have two inverted wide players that are making those out-to-in runs trying to capitalise on the space. But Foden is tucked inside on the left and Bukayo Saka is hugging the touchline on the other. Why is this happening? Is it just happening because Harry Kane enjoys doing it? A real indicator that even the players are confused is clear to be observed in their body language. Against Slovenia tonight, Declan Rice was constantly throwing his arms in the air in frustration. Trippier and Foden were disagreeing with each other about who should be where, and Jordan Pickford spent the whole game telling his back four to push up the pitch. This should not be happening 3 games into a major tournament. England have better players than Slovenia, but Slovenia are a better coached side. They win tonight in the second half, but in the first half they were able to cause England problems with just 4 to 5 sharp passes. They had a clear game plan and knew exactly how they wanted to hurt England when they won the ball back. This is a side that averaged 35% possession in the first 2 games. They have only around 60,000 registered players, and their only 2 goals in the competition so far have come from fullbacks. Coaching is important. Even if you ignore the lack of structure in these performances, how slowly do they move the ball? How cowardly are they in possession? To be fair to Cole Palmer in particular, he probably played more forward passes in the 20 minutes that he was on the pitch than the entire team did before he was introduced. On the substitutions, I thought they all had a positive impact. Mainoo was clearly more comfortable on the ball than Conor Gallagher. Gordon provided a natural width on that left-hand side and was involved in the best chance of the game, and Trent Alexander-Arnold looked dangerous playing in his natural position and played that initial pass to Gordon in the build-up to that late chance for Cole Palmer. The last point I want to make is just how much this team miss Harry Maguire. Look, Mark Gahey has done okay, but I find the constant praise that he gets a tad patronising towards him. Every time he makes a block or a 5-yard pass, the commentators must tell us how impressive he's been and remind us this is his first major tournament. Just calm down. Harry Maguire, at least for England, is better than John Stones at passing the ball between the lines and switching the play. Also, with Maguire in the team, this England side aren't criticised as much for sitting a bit deeper because of Maguire's lack of pace, which is fundamentally how Southgate wants his teams to play. He does not want a high defensive line. Anyway, that's all for me. If you want to see a more fleshed out breakdown of Gareth Southgate's tactical approach and how I thought England would set up in this tournament, then please do check out my previous video in which I explore many of the opinions that I expressed in this video in a lot more detail. Please do give the video a like and consider subscribing for more football related content, including coverage of all England games in this tournament for however long they're in the tournament. And lastly, please let me know your thoughts in the comments section. What do you agree or disagree with what I've said? And given what we've seen so far, how would you rate England's chances now of winning this tournament? Thanks for watching.